Till now, we have talked about advanced pivot table functions. We practiced on that. After that, we are going to cover Power Pivot tools. So, what is Power Pivot tools? Power Pivot is an Excel add-in basically, and you can use to perform powerful data analysis and create sophisticated data models with using Power Pivot. So with Pivot, you can mash up large volumes of data from various sources. So basically, we can have data imported from different sources through Power Pivot, and then you can perform information analysis rapidly and share insights easily. So before that, we should have this add-in in our Excel. How we can have it? We can have it with the com add-in. It's available in the limited versions, basically with the latest one only. And the best thing we have with the Microsoft 365. So once you have this add-in, you will be getting an additional tab in your Microsoft Excel that will be Power Pivot. So Power Pivot is an add-in that allows you to perform powerful data analysis on your data, and you can have the data from multiple sources. So before covering Power Pivot, we will be learning about the checking of the add-in. Do you have that add-in with you in your version of Microsoft Excel or not? So let me open my sheet. So I'll come back to my financial sample, the same database only. I am opening the same Microsoft Excel, and let me come to the new sheet here. In that new sheet, now you can see this Pivot option as it is shown in the presentation as well. So same we are getting here. So once I click on this Power Pivot option, that time I have different ribbons, that is manage, measures, KPIs, add to data model, detect and settings. We are going to cover all these ribbons, all these functionalities of Power Pivot in this week. Before that, we need to learn, do you have this add-in with you installed in your Microsoft Excel version or not? So by default, it is disabled only. I have enabled this Power Pivot add-in. Only then I am able to see this tab here. So how we can enable this add-in? So for that, you just need to follow the steps. Click on File and go to Options. In that options, you have this add-ins. Click on that add-ins. Once you click on the add-ins, you will be having these manage button, and from that manage button you need to come to com add-ins. Right now or by default we can say that we are part of Excel add-ins. So we need to click on com add-ins and then go. After clicking go, so in my Microsoft Excel version, already this Power Pivot add-in is installed. In your case, you need to make it checked and then click on OK, and with fractions of seconds, this add-in will be installed. So once this is installed, you will be able to see this Power Pivot tab in Microsoft Excel. So I'll repeat the steps how you can have this add-in in your system, in your Microsoft Excel, and remember that it is available with only the latest versions only. So already we are working on Microsoft 365, so it's good to have this. So click on File and then Options. After that, click on Add-ins. From that add-ins, go to Manage and then choose Com Add-ins. Click on Go, and then you make sure that Microsoft Power Pivot for Excel add-in is already checked or no. If it is not checked, click on check. This will be installing this add-in to your Microsoft 365 or any other version. Once you have this add-in with you, you'll be able to see this Power Pivot option here into the tab. So first, what we are going to do here, let's practice on that. So till now we have covered, we have understood that why Power Pivot is useful for us and how we can use this add-in in our system. So once we have this add-in, we have options to manage, measures, KPIs, add to data model, detect and settings with Power Pivot option. So what we can do with this Power Pivot option, we can work on more tables, and we can actually form the relationships among those tables. More tables, we can connect multiple data, auto adds the tables to data model. This we will learn by practical, by hands-on session. So relationship, what we are talking about relationship. So basically if we have 3 or 4 tables, so we are building relationship among those tables, and accordingly we are getting the data. So create relationships to connect to tables outside or inside view of data model. So once you have this power pivot table, or let me come back to the pivot table option, we have this field there. There is a click for the more tables. From that more tables, you can actually have multiple tables in your system, but with power pivot, you can show it as relationship. So this relationship is possible with power pivot. So let's try that now. So I'll come back to Microsoft Excel. So let's explore this power pivot tab. It's wonderful add-in how we can do the data analysis and everything. Before that, I will be showing you that we are working on three more data sets now. So for power pivot, I have three more tables. The first table is cookie type. Let me open that table so that you can understand what kind of a data we have. So we have this much information with us. So this is cookie type, revenue per cookie, cost per cookie. So this is our data set for this cookie type table. This we are going to consider into the power pivot option. Next, the second table we have is, so we are considering here three tables. The second table is customers. Let me open the customers as well. So in this customers table, what we have, how many fields we have? We have multiple fields and we are trying to build the relationship among those tables. So this is the table here, cookie type. Let me close this one. And financial sample, as of now, we don't need that. And we are looking here for the customers table. So this is our customers table. So what we have in this table, we have customer ID, we have name, we have phone number, address, city, state, zip code, country, and some notes we are having here. So we have some few rows here, 1, 2, 3, or we can count it on number 6. The number 6 rows we have, including the heading here. I will be closing this table as well. Then let me come back to the third table. My third table is orders table. In this orders table, what we are having, what kind of data we have. Let's open that Microsoft Excel worksheet and we will be able to see or explore the data. So we have here customer ID, order ID, product, unit sold, and date. So these all three tables are part of the same organization and storing different kind of information. Now, what is our target to do here? Our target will be adding these all three tables and building relationship among these three tables. So let's add a table. How we can add the table? This is add to data model and I will be clicking here add to data model. So before that we should have the data with us. So currently I don't have any kind of a data here. I will be going to manage the first thing. So once you click on the manage, a different window will be open here. I'll go it again. So this is, I'm at power pivot. In that power pivot, what I am doing, I'm clicking on manage. I will be clicking on manage. Let's add all the three tables here. How we can add it? So I will be clicking here on the manage. So once you click on the manage, you can see the description given by the Microsoft Excel as well. So go to the Power Pivot window. What you can have Power Pivot window to load and prepare data or continue working on data already added to this workbook. So on these tables are customers table, orders table, and the other table that is with storing the information about the cookie type. So let's have the tables first, how you can have it. So we can have from it different sources as well. We can have it from databases, from SQL Server, from Microsoft Access, or from any other tool, or you can have it from web as well, that we known as OData. But for this example, we are taking data from other sources. So what you need to do, so you can have it from SQL, Azure as well, Analytics Platform System, Microsoft Access, Oracle, Teradata, Cbase, Informatics, IBM DB2, others. So where we have the data, we have it in the Microsoft Excel. So we'll be going exploring into the last, and then we have this Excel file. So I will be clicking on this Excel file and next, and then here I need to give the path here. The name is friendly connection name. Let it be by default name. Now let me choose the Excel file path. Let me click on the browse, and from that browse, first what I'll do, I'll have the customers table. So let me have that customers table here. I'm not doing anything else. So I want to use first row as column headers. Yes, I want to do it, and click on the next. You can see select tables and the views. So we have this customers tables with us. So let me click on the finish here. So I don't want to see any preview, anything. Here, once you are done with this, you can see the import operation might take several minutes to complete. To stop the import operation, click the stop button, but you don't need to do it for now. So you can see here total 1, cancel 0, success 1, error 0. This is done. 5 rows transferred. So we were having only 5 rows in the customers table, so that is why we are having this much rows. I'll click on close. So once I click on close, you can see here on the back side you have this table now. So this is that separate window for the Power Pivot, that is a special add-in for Microsoft Excel where we can have the data from multiple tables and you can build relationship on that table. So this is possible with Power Pivot option. And after that, this you can see here as in the Excel, we have the worksheet name. Similarly, we have one more worksheet name here only with the columns customer ID, name, phone number, address, city, state, zip, country, notes, and you can add the column as well. We will learn about the adding the columns as well. Let's have the another table now. So I'll be going back again from other source, click on Excel file and then click on next. Next, choose another file. Let me take this time cookie types. So I will be going and following the same path, clicking on the next. And then you can see here what kind of a table we are having. If you want to see the preview and the filter, you can see the preview. If you want to choose some specific data also, that you can do with the filtration as well. Right now, what we want to have the complete data set with us. I'll click on the finish. So this is done again. So you can see here, I'll click on the close again. In the cookie types again, we have this column. But this time we forgot to have column name as the header. So let me delete this. Let me delete this here from this area and let me re-add it to the connection. So I'll be going back from other sources. Let me click on Excel file and this I need to make check, browse cookie types and then use first row as column headers. Click on next and then finish directly. This time success directly. I'm not getting any kind of a message here. Close. So once I have clicked on the close, on the back side I have this another table, that is cookie type. So customers is there, cookie type is there. Now whatever the rows we were having in the cookie type, same I have received in this Power Pivot as well. Let's add the third table now. So let me click on that from other sources, click on Excel file and let me choose that orders table. Use first row as column headers, click on next and then click on finish, but I need to select the sheet as well. So I will be selecting only the first sheet here. I don't want to select the another sheet. Let me click on the finish here. So again, this time how many records has been transferred, or you can say the rows. We have total 700 rows transferred. I'll click on close. So once I click on the close, this data will be transferred to my Power Pivot for all three tables. Now I have the table customers, cookie types and orders, that is into the Power Pivot. So once you have the data, now you need to form the relationship among these tables. You might be having the data from multiple tables and you want to use it in same manner. See, I am owner of a on organization, so this will be a very bad idea to keep all the records in one single table. Rather than that, I can have different tables here. Like you can take example of this tables. So customers information is kept in a different table. Cookie types information like cookie, revenue per cookie, cost per cookie has been kept in another table. In the orders, we have the customer ID, order ID, and the product, unit sold, and the rate with us. So, but when you need data, you might be required data from multiple tables. So this pivot option actually helps us to analyze the data from multiple tables and form a relationship among those tables. So let's form the relationship first. So for forming the relationship, what you need to do, you need to click on this diagram view. Right now we are seeing data view. Here show hidden is visible, calculation area is visible. So thus we do need to cover it for now. Click on diagram view. In the diagram view, you can see the table here. Let me zoom it like this, or you can expand the area so that you can see all the fields available. It is actually carrying all those tables fields. Let me replace it or relocate it here so that it is entirely visible on the center of the screen. So we have all three tables with us. So customer, cookie types, and the orders. So now I need to form the relationship among those tables, how these tables are related to each other. So if I talk about the customer, so this table is storing customers information here, and then this cookie type, we have a different information. So cookie type or revenue per cookie, cost per cookie. So let me take this orders to this side and this cookie type to this side. Now, here you can see that these customers can have multiple orders. So what I can do in that case, just see it carefully. What I'm doing, I'm clicking on customer ID and then taking this arrow to this customer ID. So once you do this, so you have a relationship among those. So that relationship is like customer ID is a unique ID in this customer's table. So one to many relationship, but these one customer can have multiple orders here. That is why this is one to many relationship among the table, or we can say the between the table customer and orders. Now let's talk about orders and cookie type. In orders and cookie types, what we have, so similarly, in this cookie type and product is associated with each other. So this is about cookie type. So cookie type can have different products. So it is something like same kind of a relationship. So this is saving the information for the cookie, but in the orders table, we can have the multiple entries for the different type of cookie. And here in this orders table, it is known as product, and in the cookie type table, it is known as cookie type. That is why we form the relationship. So all these three tables is associated with different columns. So if we talk about the customers and the orders table, how these two tables are related to each other, this is related to the customer ID. If I talk about the orders and the cookie type table, these two tables are associated with the field product and cookie type. So we form the relationship here one to many, here many to one according to the entries here. If you want to delete something, you can delete it like clicking or right click and mark as inactive edit relationship, or you can directly come to the delete one option. So this is your choice, like by mistake, if you have made a wrong connection, you can delete it and form it again. So otherwise, this is the simpler view. If you want to see the data view will be like this. And if you'll come to diagram view will be like this. So to form the relationship among the tables, it is necessary to have this diagram view and then form the relationship. Now let's come back to the data view. Now let's see how we can have the benefit of these relationship with the data set. What we can do with this data set. So I'll come back to my table, my orders table. In that orders table, my requirement is to add profit. How I can add the profit? How I can have the profit? So let me add a column here. So I'll be going here and I will be naming here profit. Profit. This is a new column here. So how we are having the information for this column, we will be having this information from any other table. We can have it from the cookie type. So right now in this table, in orders table, what we have, let's expand this and see. So we have the customer ID with us, we have the order ID with us, and then we have the product with us. Product is written, and then the number of units we sold and the date we sold these units. This information for the complete timestamp is already available with us. Now we need to calculate the profit. How we can calculate the profit now? We can explore others table. Before that, you come to cookie types. In that cookie types, cost per cookie is written here. Cost per cookie is written here. So what I'll do, I'll come to this profit function. Before that, we need to calculate the cost per cookie as well. So before coming to the profit or something, what we need to do, we need to calculate the cost per cookie. We need to calculate the revenue as well, profit as well. So for revenue, what we can do, Let's have a thing here. Let me type here. So this is like typing a formula. So once you are here, equals to is already there. Here you need to type the formula. So I will be writing here related. So once I'll write the related, now you can have the suggestions for which column you want to choose. Which column you want to choose. So I will be using first, let me use the revenue per cookie. So before calculating the profit, I should have the revenue with me now. So let me change this column to revenue. I'll come back here, or let me delete this one to add something new. So it is waiting for a formula, so that is why it is giving us error. I have deleted that. Now I'm coming back. So I am typing here revenue. So revenue is required first. Then I should have the cost as well. Let me expand this. So once I expand this, here I need to type the formula. What is that formula? So for equals to is already written here. I'll type related. In the related, what I'll choose from that cookie type, I'll choose the revenue. Revenue is already there. That revenue is for the per cookie. Revenue is for the per cookie. I'll click on enter. So I have this information. Now what I'll do, I'll multiply this information with the unit sold. So this is the revenue we need to calculate for the complete revenue. So how many units we have sold? We have sold this the unit. So let me take the values from the orders table. In the orders table, we have this unit sold. So there I have the value. So what I'll do, I'll close the parenthesis here for the related function. I'll click on OK here. So let's see whether it will work. So it is an error. Let's correct the error first and see what we can do here. So this was about the related, and then we started revenue work cookie. Let me give some spaces here. Let's see whether it works or not. I'll click on enter again. So this is giving again me an error. So let's change this value again and see whether it works or not. So what I'll do, I'll come again with the related function. So what we are doing, we are choosing here first as revenue per cookie. So this was the revenue per cookie. After having this revenue per cookie, I'm multiplying this information with the unit sold. So this is the unit sold I'll take. I'll close this and click on enter. This is again not working. So let me delete this and then see what we can do with that. So let's start it again. First, I'll have the column here, column name. So column name, what we were talking about, we were talking about that we need to calculate the profit here. Before that, we should have the exact value for the revenue and for the cost. So what was the total cost? So first I'll take the revenue here, and after that let me add another column as well. So it will be, you can see all this processing is happening down here. So what I'll do now, I'll add one another column that will be cost now. So this is the total cost. After having this revenue and the cost, what I can have, I can calculate now the profit. So this will be, profit will be calculated here. So now revenue, how I can take it? Now I need to click on the rows here. So once I click on the row in the revenue, I will be forwarded to a formula here. So I should have the information in the cookies table here. So I will be typing a related function. In that related function, from that cookie types, I'll choose revenue per cookie. So if I close this parenthesis, I'll get the information that is saved for each product for from the cookies type. So you can see for chocolate chip, the revenue per cookie is 5. For fortune cookie, it is rupees 1. So similarly, we can check it in our table as well. So you can see here in chocolate chip, this is 5 rupees per the revenue. But we need to make sure that we need to multiply it with units sold to calculate that total revenue per order. So what I'll be doing, I'll going back to this, and after that I will be multiplying the value that is stored in the table orders and that is units sold. So I'll be clicking on that units sold. So we were making mistake that we were closing parenthesis in a wrong. For the related, we just need to pass only the revenue per cookie, that column only, to get the information from another table. So once I click on OK, the processing will happens here and you have the complete data set with you. So this is revenue for each cookie. So what we did, we multiply the revenue for each cookie with the unit sold for per order ID. So you don't need to combine all the tables into one single table. You can have the information like this and then you can utilize this. So after calculating the revenue, now let's talk about the cost. So similarly, what we will be doing, we will be having the cost as well here. So let me click here and go to the function. This time again, what we are taking, which value we are taking. Let's take the cost per cookie now from the table cookie types. And again, we will be multiplying it with units sold to calculate the total cost. So I will be multiplying it the units sold, that is from the orders table, units sold. Let me click on that. In this way, we can have the total cost with us for particular order ID. So we got the all the calculation here. To calculate the profit, what we need to do? We need to subtract these revenue minus cost. So let me subtract that also. This is in the same table. So in the formula, what we will be doing, we will be writing revenue minus, so let me do it here again. So this was the formula. I did something wrong again. So let me remove this formula. This was should supposed to be equal to here. So let me put the escape here, and now in that profit one, what we need to do, we need to write it revenue minus cost. So let me write here revenue, that is from the orders table only, minus cost, and cost is again in the orders table only. So after clicking in that, then I can have the complete data here in the profit table. So this profit is written here. So we did the calculation. See, the calculation was simpler one here. So in this way, we can have the information from other two tables as well. This is revenue, cost and profit. We can use a related function and get the excess of another column, another tables, another column value here. Let's go back to the presentation, what we have more for the Power Pivot. So this we started how we can have the multiple tables into one single Excel sheet, and then how we can form this kind of a relationship in the Power Pivot. And after having the relationship, we can actually combine the data from multiple tables. After that, we have an option to create the measures. So what is measures? So we will study about that, how we can do, how we can work on the measures. So this is about creating data models. Power Pivot, add to data model with, and then we can, what we can do, we can add tables to data model, create measures, make connections by creating relationship between tables. So manage we already covers, like once we click on the manage, and then we can have the information here. I will be saving it here, or let me minimize here and opening my financial sample again. So this was the manage we already covered. Now come to this measures. So what is measures? So let me have the new measure first. So what is the new measure here? So let me, this kind of a window is available here. It is giving me all three tables option. My table customers, cookie type and orders. So let me take customers only. And that customers, what you want to measure. So this is like what you want to quantify. Maybe I want to quantify total number of customers. So same I am writing here, number of customers in the customers table. So what is the description? Description, let me leave it for now. Now here you need to give the formula. So I will be typing the formula distinct. Distinct function returns a one column table that contains the unique values in a column for a column argument. This we already know. So let me use this distinct function, and what I am passing to this distinct function, let me pass it to one again, count function. And to this count function, what I am passing the customer ID. So basically I want to have the unique values for the this customer ID, and same count I want to have. Or let me use here distinct count. So this will be returning me the, it will be giving me the count for the number of distinct values in a column here. So what I am passing here, I am passing here only customer ID. You can do the formatting as well. I'll keep it as general only. So this, what I did, I click on the measures, and after clicking on the measures, what I provided a name for the table. In the table name, I clicked on the measure name. Measure name, what I have provided, total number of customers. Here I am writing a formula in this kind of a window, and this formula we use for calculating the number of the customer. We pass this customer ID column to distinct count and then click on OK. So once you click on OK, so this processing is done. How we can see this again? So before that, let me add one more measure here. This time I'm adding something for the sum maybe. Or before that, what we can go do, we can go back to our data. Let's go back to this Power Pivot. Now in this Power Pivot, we edit something in the customers table. So you can see something here. So this is, let me expand this so that you can see it clearly. So this is total number of customers is 5. That is absolutely correct. So we have total number of customers as 5. So this is called the measure. So that information you are having here into that table. So this is the measure. So all the quantification on the table you can perform by using the measures. In fact, you can add it from here as well. Let me go back to my sample here and click on this measures here. So I'll click back for the new measure. This time again I'm doing adding this measure in the customers table only. So let me add this time sum for the total profit we can write. We can write total profit this time. So let's see what is the total profit with us. Total profit, and let me write the formula as sum function, and what we are passing here in the order table, we already calculated this profit we calculated, same I'm passing to this sum function to calculate the sum, the total profit we want to calculate, and this is done.